shall be saved and the higher with everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
Israel is a world without end. Make sure you write that precept down. Israel is a world without end. That whole verse right there, okay, you try to spin it, chop it down, flip it, it says Israel. Israel. You keep saying Israel, right? Now to show you that there are different worlds that were created, we're going to go to Hebrews. Let's go get Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 2. We're going to show you that there are different worlds.
That's in the Bible.
Yep. Page 1824. Got it?
1824?
This is a Hebrews course, one number.
Oh, there you go.
You got it? Hebrews 1 and 2. Hath these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the world.
Made the worlds with an S. See that? Worlds with an S. So there are other worlds. See? Yes. So Israel is a world. Yes, sir?
Yeah, there is no 1824.
No, I was calling the page number for her.
Yeah, this is Hebrews chapter 1.
Hebrews 1 and 2, I was calling the page number for Noah, because she had the same book I got. It's Hebrews 1 verse 2.
Right. So that's a few scriptures. Let's go to Galatians 5:22.
$17.79 says.
Oh. 522?
Yep, 522.
What's the book?
Galatians 5:22.
To 23.
Got it?
Yeah,
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
Now they'll take this out of context and tell you there ain't no law behind this. All right, this is right here is the fruit of the Spirit that as Israelites we have to exercise, we have to use, right?
long suffering
Mm-hmm.
is goodness.
It means patience. That's what long suffering is. See, we went over this a few times in class. This is what you have to have with Israelites. Christians will take this out of concept and try to use this on you because you're getting on them people about not keeping the law. See? Oh boy. That's one. Let's go to, let's get some Psalms in here. Let's get Psalms 37:4. See, See, when it's convenient for them, they want to go in what they call Old Testament.
They love Psalms.
37.
Mm-hmm. Psalm 37 and 4.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Galatians,
9:25
Galatians, 22 or 23,
Mm-hmm.
where it says, against such there is no law.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if you're doing these things, you have the fruit of the
That's-
Spirit in you. Like, what is that saying? Against such there is no law.
There's no law against keeping like the fruit of the spirit, meaning patience, temperaments. There's no law against that. Think about it. What law is written against you having patience?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So you're supposed to exercise all of those traits. Especially like when we go out and preach, we have to have that, especially talking to Israel. Israel been beat up. Israel been beat up. I can't keep stressing that enough. You'd be surprised, a little kindness, talk to Israel. Now, it's one thing when they don't, say if they do know the law and you got to come at them, yeah, you got to come at them. But at first, they don't know the law. You can't just, sister, why you got on shorts? Give me some, and you getting on her. She don't know about no law. What is the Israelite? You have to, you have to be patient with Israel. You have to show them kindness. You still in that chapter, brother? You changed it already.
Psalms,
Okay.
Psalms,
I'll go back there.
Excuse me.
Let's do a touch up on it real quick. They said, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, right? Love, joy, and peace. Long suffering, which is patience, gentleness, goodness, faith, correct? Meekness, temperament. Against such, there is no law. This is what I tell you. When you practice these, especially when you go out, this is how you're not getting your flesh. See, when you practice these, you won't get in your flesh. It's hard for the demons to come at you. They will come at you. They will get in your face. They will say little things. Any little thing they have on you, or they think they have on you, they're gonna come at you with. Like, let's say, an example. Let's say my ear, right? Let's say one of my ears is bigger than the other. That demon will come at me about your ear. Man, boy, why your ear so big? Boy, why you got a fat stomach? What's wrong with you? How you gonna tell me you out there being gluttonous? But that's how they come at you, like that. Now, if I step out of this and I step into 19, we're gonna read down. I step into 19. It said, now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these are adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, adultery, witchcraft, hatred. Emulations, that's another one. You trying to emulate like the wicked people. You trying to act like them, take on their ways and stuff. Strife, seditions, heresy, envying, murderers, drunkenness, reveling. As such, of this, which I tell you before, I've also told you in times past, that they which do these things shall not inherit the kingdom of Ahia. Meaning all those things right there that you see, they're in the flesh. That's when you go back up to 17, where it says, for the flesh lusts against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. See, so long as you in your flesh, brothers and sisters, you're not pleasing Ahia, and you're working for Satan.
So what if people, Israelite into all of that, will they be able to get forgiveness or they will, right?
Well, if they know this law and they willfully go out there and turn on that, they ain't no forgiveness for that. Because they put Yeshua to open shame. See, we going to sin, but you have to fight it. You got to fight your flesh. That's why it's importance of fasting. This is what I tell y'all about fasting. You have to keep your flesh in check. Your flesh don't rule nothing. Your spirit do.
Right. Because
either way, at the end, you're going to come out this flesh. And what's standing afterward, that's you. That's the real you standing up after that. When you dream, that's what I tell you. That is your spirit. That is the real you talking and walking around or mingling with other spirits. That's the real you. When stuff perfect example, we all went through this. When stuff be trying to have sex with you, and you just willfully lay down with that thing, that's your spirit just giving in. That ain't just you just going on. Your spirit weak. See, you got to constantly, feed your spirit. You got to stay in this word. You still committed fornication in your dream. Because that's your thoughts. You see what I'm saying? Y'all see how this works. The spirit realm, the demons, they know this stuff. They know this very well. They play on our ignorance. They use this against us.
Yeah, because like even when you are asleep, you're forever thinking. You're always thinking. Even when you're unconscious, you're still thinking.
Yeah.
And
Well, think about it, you're not really unconscious. Your body is asleep.
Body resting on your mind.
You never really sleep. Your flesh is asleep.
Right.
You not.
Right.
Your flesh is just holding your spirit. See?
I be there with the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so you constantly awake.
Yeah, your spirit. You do.
That's just like, sometimes when I sleep, I can run a complete marathon. Y'all see what shape I'm in. The real me, my flesh can't do it, but my spirit can. I take a deep breath, up and down the steps, I'll never get tired. Constantly just going. You won't get tired,
Right.
but you have to, yeah.
Oh, that's just like them spirits though.
Yeah.
Because they never get tired.
They never get
Constantly,
sleepy.
constantly coming after
Because
you.
you have a body, a physical body. They don't.
Yeah.
So they need
a body.
a body to hitchhike. They
Yeah.
will hitchhike on you. And then it's not just one, it'll be a bunch of them. They'll come in. If you open that door, brothers and sisters, they will walk through it. They got nothing to lose. They'll walk through that door. And they will get on you and they will ride on you. They will try to mess your life up until they destroy you.
Yeah, how you let them get on you is by entertaining the thoughts.
Right.
It's a thought that can come into your mind, you know what I'm saying? Once you entertain it, you start, giving in, you're allowing that spirit to, you welcome it in. Yeah.
It's true. Like, all right. We did a class about this. Because this actually going in with the lesson too. Because I'm going to show y'all how this JC came to be. We're gonna take it back from the beginning. But just like when you, okay, I don't want none of y'all to answer. How are you today? Now in your mind say, that's your spirit. That's you. You feel that? That's you. Your mouth didn't make no noise, did it? But you heard that voice, right? That's your spirit. It starts with thoughts. Those thoughts turn into a seed, plants, it grows into a tree, it makes fruit. You have to dig that tree up from the root to destroy it. Now once that tree is there, it's going to keep manifesting fruit over and over again.
Until they teach you to do.
To it, yeah. Well, you're gonna start acting it out. I'm going to say it. Porn. Porn is one of the. This is how they get people. Starts with a vision. Just use this as an example, right? It starts off something small. You may see a glance of something on the TV screen. You see it, you turn it off. That thought is there. That thought is right there. These thoughts will keep coming back at you. As long as you keep entertaining them thoughts, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Let me quit back over there. Look at it from saying, I can't turn away. That thought getting bigger. As long as you keep entertaining that, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. A tree is starting to grow. A tree is starting to grow. Now we start partaking in more and more of that stuff. That is fruit, brothers and sisters. It'll turn into a habit. It's going and going and going. You've already let a demon of lust inside already. You're going to start bringing more in. Those acts start getting filthier. You see what I'm saying? These are more demons coming in. Oh, they having a party on you. We all met people on our walk that just can't control themselves. They always got a different partner every day, all the time. They just turn into an orchard. They got all these people. What y'all think that is?
The multiple spirits.
These are spirits on them. These are spirits. They're not going to get in the kingdom. You got that filth on you. They've entertained that stuff. See what I'm saying? Now it's done grown into this huge tree with all this nasty fruit on it. And they exercising it out. Wickedness.
So we have to fast.
We have to fast. That's why, like,
And be in this.
it's good to like keep your flesh under control. That's the thing about Yeshua lived a fasted lifestyle. See what I'm saying? He was making sure he was staying clean out his flesh. Satan still gonna try you. Satan gonna tempt you regardless. He ran up on him, he gonna definitely run up on us. He ran up on our king, he definitely run up on you. Okay? Always remember that. None of us are exempt from that. We're gonna take this back in time. I'm gonna show y'all because this actually goes with the lesson today. This is in Jubilees. This is volume 2 of the Super Pivot. I'm going to show y'all something. This is why we go into other books, so we can get a better understanding of what goes on, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's volume 2.
What's volume 2? That's not it.
It's
It's in yours, yeah. It's Jubilees chapter, what chapter is this? Chapter 10.
Is it this book here?
No. It's gonna be in Jubilees chapter 10. Like, I don't know if you want to write that down, brother. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and start. Chapter 10, 1 Jubilee. It says, in the third week of that Jubilees, the polluted demons began to lead astray the children of Noah's sons, and lead them to folly and destroy them. And the sons of Noah came to Noah, their father, and they told him about the demons who were leading astray and blinding and killing his grandchildren. And he prayed before Ahiah, and he said, Ahiah of the spirits, which are in all flesh, who has acted merciful with me and saved me and my sons from the waters of the flood, and did not tell me, perish as you did the children of perdition, because great was your grace upon me, and great was your mercy upon my soul. Let your grace be lifted up upon my sons. Do not let the evil spirits rule over them, lest they destroy them from the earth. But bless me and my sons, and let us grow and increase and fill the earth. And you know that which your watchers, the fathers of their spirits, did in my days, and also these spirits who are alive. It says, shut them up and take them to the place of the judgment, and do not let them cause corruption among the sons of your servants, O my master, because they are cruel and were created to destroy. And let them not rule over the spirits of the living, because you alone know their judgment, and do not let them have power over the children of the righteous henceforth and forever. This was a prayer our ancestor Noah did. This wasn't just for Shem's line. This was also for Japheth. This was also for Ham. Everybody was getting attacked, whether you was from that chosen seed line or not. These spirits don't care. We can look out now. Y'all see me as I preach. We look at all across the people and stuff. These demons still are after them, after us.
Right.
Check this out now. This is the second half to this. This is verses 7 and 8. And Ahiah spoken to us, so that we might bind all of them. And the chief of the spirits, Masatima. Who is the chief of the spirits? This is another name for Satan, Masatima. The reason why we know this stuff, because we have to research and find it out. Okay? It says, came and he said, O Ahiah creator, lead some of them before me, and let them obey my voice, and let them do everything which I tell them. Because if some of them are not left for me, I will not be able to exercise the authority of my will among the children of men, because they are intended to corrupt and lead astray before my judgment, because the evil of the sons of men is great. And it says, and he said, let a tenth of them remain before him, but let 9 parts go down into the place of judgment. So understand something, brothers and sisters. Now we finna break this down in other books. We finna show you something. We went over this before in class. Some of them already went to that judgment place. Remember the part when Yeshua got off the boat and what he said, Son of man, what we have to do with you? Please don't torture us before our time. Where did them demons come from? Where did these spirits come from? It's talking about the beginnings of them right here. Think about he went into the synagogue. Remember the scripture? All he did is read out. What we got to do with you, son of man? But notice nobody in there reacted. Didn't say they reacted. So they know these spirits out here. See? I'm going to show y'all something. Let's get Psalms 96 and 5. Okay? Psalms 96 and 5. And this is going to come up to what we're talking about the world's greatest religions, or these religions and stuff. This is another book that my brother brought to me. I always ask this question about these religions and stuff. What makes these people worship these things? What makes them worship these things and do these strange customs and stuff that they do?
They get blessings off of those things.
This is true, but who's blessing them? See, now we're finna go into it. No, you're right. You're on point. You're on point with that, right? See, here at D.O.C., we understand something. This is not a fight of the flesh anymore. You got to be armed up. You got to have on the whole armor. This is why we show you Ephesians chapter 6. If you're not fighting flesh and blood, what are you fighting? You fight spirits, okay? These people serving these things for a reason, okay? These other nations are the enemies, brothers and sisters. They have stuff attached to them. We finna get into this, all right? Let's go to Psalms 96 and 5.
Psalm 96, verse 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols,
All the gods of the nations are idols.
but a higher made the heavens. Honor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary.
Now, that can also be precept with Chronicles. But we're going to go to Jeremiah next. So all the nations have their gods, right?
Right.
So we're going to Jeremiah 46. Jeremiah 46 and 25.
Yes, 35.
35.
Yes, 35.
What about 46 and 5?
46, 25.
I should start at 21, I'm sorry.
Oh,
So,
46.
yeah. Let's do it.
46, 21.
No, I'm sorry, 45. 45. So Jeremiah 45 and 21. I'm sorry, everybody.
45, 20.
45 21?
45, 21.
Jeremiah chapter 45, 21. I'm about 21.
Can I get my scriptures mixed up?
No.
Yeah. Isaiah. Notes. And my notes mixed up. Yeah, 45 and 46 and 25. Sorry.
46, 25.
Yeah, 46, 25, everybody, I'm sorry. 46 and 25, Jeremiah.
Same check, page 12, 35. Yeah, that's the first time.
Yeah, I messed up, right? John, I don't want to lose my point. Make sure I get my points right.
That's it.
Yes.
It said, a higher host, the higher of Israel said, behold, I will punish the multitude of Note, and Pharaoh, Egypt, their gods, and the kings, even Pharaoh, and all that trust in him.
Now, why would our Father say, I'm going to punish them with their gods? I'm going to punish them with their gods. We're going to find out who these gods are, who they follow. Okay? Now, Master Tima said, when we read Jubilee, he said, leave me some of them. Basically, so I can do my job. Because if you don't leave me some, I can't do my job. He said, take some of them, put them in judgment, but leave me the rest. So now we're finna find out who these gods are. Let's go to Exodus 34. Exodus chapter 34. We're gonna go back to Torah. Exodus 34. It says 34, 13 to 14.
Got it? But ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves. For thou shalt worship no other God. For a higher whose name is jealous, is a jealous higher. Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitations of the land, and they go a whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their God, and call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice.
Mhm. So, verses 13, 14, it says, but you should destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves. Right? So you're supposed to break down and cut down their groves. Now, how can you possibly do that in this type of society, right? You can't physically do that, but you can pray against it. You can pray against that. You have to pray prayers that will affect them, because you best believe they're praying against you. If our Father gave us this commandment, we can pray for that to happen. When you go into their stores, let me show you something. You go into their stores and stuff, they have their little images. They have their little things set up in their stores. You as Israelites, you go in there, you are commanded. You better pray against that stuff. Ask the Father to send sword to destroy their altars. They have their little Buddhas, their little, all this foolishness. That even at JC, pray against him. Because that's their God, believe it or not. They're praying to him against you. Because they think we're the enemy.
Right. Who don't inside a Chinese restaurant, a big old Buddha right there to go. Before you even go inside and get your food, it's a big old. Sometimes they don't have no big one, they have a little one on the table. Got a little gold chain on his neck.
The little cat with the little paw. It look cute, don't it? You ever seen them little words written on it? They call it a little lucky cat. You gotta think about that. They're getting your money. It's a spirit behind that. Them little water fountains. You see them gods all attached to it. They had a little pitchfork. Then people go flick their money in there. All in the water. They be making wishes to it and stuff. What you think you invited into your life that's attached to that altar? It's real, brothers and sisters. It's real.
Yeah, because you're wishing a demon to bless you some kind of way. When you throw money in the river, you throw that money, see all that money in the river, you're making a wish. You ain't going to a highway. He's jealous. He just read that. He said he's jealous, right? You wishing for something that he give all things.
And again, Mesotima came and said, "Oh, Ahia, leave some of them before me, and let them obey my voice." Leave some of them. So where did some of them go? Started coming together, ain't it? Where did some of them go? Let's get Genesis. I'm going to take this back further. Let's go to Genesis 31. Genesis chapter 31. This one will be kind of long here, but we got to go way back in time with our ancestor Jacob. We're going to start at verse 1.
We'll read all Genesis.
31, verse 1. We're going to read all the way down, right? We're going to keep going.
Everybody got it?
Now, this is a story about our ancestor when he stayed at Laban's house. You probably wonder, why are we going there about Laban? It's very important what's going to happen here with Laban. Remember, Jubilees and stuff, this is Moses' rightness. This is, now, this part right here we read about Mesotima, this happened during Noah's time. So this was before Jacob came on the scene. So these demons, they had them went out already. They already out doing their thing. Go ahead, start, brother.
And he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's has he gotten all this glory. So he's telling you that he got the glory from his father, not a higher. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not towards him as before. And Ahia said unto Jacob, return into thy land of thy fathers, and thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that is not towards me as before, but Ahia of my father hath been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father. And your father have deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. But Ahia suffered him not to hurt me. If he said thus, the speckle shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckle. And if he said thus, the ring speckle shall be thy hire, then bear all thy cattle ring speckle. Thus Ahia hath taken away the cattle of your father and given them to me. And it came to pass at that time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up my eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, a ram which leaped upon the cattle, with rings speckled, and grizzled. And the angel of the height spoken to me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here I am. And he said, Lift up now thy eyes, and see all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring speckled, and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban done unto thee. I am a hire of Bethel, where thou anointest thy pillar, then where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? We are not counted of him strangers. For he has sold us and has quieted devoured also our money. For all the riches which Ahiah has taken from our father, that is ours, and our children's now then, whatsoever Ahiah has said unto thee, do. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels. And he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle, his getting, which he had gotten in Padran, from to go into Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images with his father.
Now see, keep that in mind now. She stole images from her father Laban. What are these images? Keep going.
For Jacob stole away unawares to Laban and Saran, and that he told him not, that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face toward to go to Mount Galilee. And it was told Laban on that third day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey. And they overtook him in the Mount Galilee. And the high came to Laban, the Saran, in a dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not unto Jacob neither good or bad. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount.
Now, hold on. Think about this now. Why would the Most High send his angels and tell him, don't you talk to him nothing good or bad? Why would the Most High say that? Why would he stop him? There's kind of a gap right there, ain't it? Remember I always told y'all, you got to open up the scripture to see what went on through there? And another thing, how in the world Laban knew which way Jacob went?
Oh, it's God.
Hold on now. We're going to get it. We're going to get it.
Okay.
But the 66 books won't tell you that, though. Remember, Rachel took them images. She took them gods, right? She took. So how in the world could Laban find what direction he went?
Because God, those things had.
Hold on now. How can you prove that, though? You'll never know unless you can go into these other books. Now we finna get it. This is the book of Jasher that they took out. Some Israel, they tell you, oh, you need to go in here. You need to go in here. You need to go in here. Let me show you something. Show y'all what happened to our ancestor. This is going to be the book of Jasher. It's going to be chapter 31. If you got the book of Jasher, I'm going to read it. So, Jasher 88. Perfect on that. I'm right there. Now, keep in mind, we just read the story, right? About Laban. Laban went after Jacob because Jacob had got all the stuff, right? But again, how can you possibly know what direction Jacob had went? And why would the Most High tell him, don't you say nothing to him, good or bad? All it's got a reason. This is the book of Jasher on chapter 30. 31. Yep, should be on Jasher chapter 31, brothers and sisters. Yep. So you want to write that down. And we're going to start on verses 40. Okay? We'll go ahead and start. It says, and Rachel stole her father's images, and she took them, and she concealed them upon the camel upon which she sat. And she went on. And this is the matter of the images, in taking a man who is the firstborn, and slaying him, and taking the hair off of his head, then taking salt and salting the head, and anointing it in oil, then taking a small tablet of copper, or a tablet of gold, and writing the name upon it, and placing the head with the tablet under the tongue, and putting it in the house, and lighting up candles before it, and bowing down to it.
Oh my goodness.
This is how you make the image that false god that they had.
They took the head.
They took the head of a firstborn man and slayed him.
Oh my goodness.
Can you read that again?
Yeah.
I started. This is verse 40 in the book of Jasher on 30. Yeah. But see, the reason why I'm reading this to y'all and showing y'all is that this stuff still goes on. This stuff still goes on. Y'all need to understand this. Your enemies are practicing this stuff.
Yeah.
Remember, we just read in the 66 books. Now, the people that want to say, oh, this is all we need. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is all we need, right? But now it's speaking about this. This is telling you exactly what that thing was. I start over. Pay attention. And Rachel stole her father's images, and she took them, and she concealed them upon the camel upon which she sat. And she went on. Now, 41 is going to bring it down how it was made. 41, and this is the manner of the images, and taking a man who is the firstborn and slaying him, and taking the hair off of his head, balding. Then taking salt and salting the head and anointing it in oil. Then taking a small tablet of copper or a tablet of gold and writing the name upon it, whatever that name is, and placing the tablet under his tongue, and taking the head with the tablet under the tongue, and putting it in the house, and lighting up candles before it, and bowing down to it. 42. And at the time when they bow down to it, it speaks to them in all matters that they ask of it, through the power of the name which is written in it.
Wow.
And some make them in the fingers of men of gold and silver, and go to them in times to know them. And the fingers receive the influence of the stars, and tell them future things. And in this manner were the images which Rachel stole from her father. 44. And Rachel stole those images which were her father's, in order that Laban may not know through them where Jacob had gone. 45. And Laban came home, and he asked concerning Jacob and his household, and he was not to be found. And Laban sought his images to know where Jacob had gone, and could not find them. And he went to some other images, and he inquired of them, and they told him that Jacob had fled from him to his fathers, to the land of Canaan.
Wow.
They be doing that all the way back.
That's why a lot of people be going missing. This is why a lot of people go missing. They doing that now. That's why they claim they can't find the people, or they find bits and pieces of the body of people.
Because
They
somebody
wicked.
Now, we're going to show you, back in the 66 books, about these other people. We're going to show you again. Let's take this back further, a little further up now. We're going to go into Exodus. Let's get,
So that means she didn't take all the images.
he went to some more.
There was some other.
He went to some other
He
ones.
had all of them, so he went to some other ones. But you realize he can go to other gods. All of them had all of his servants. They had their own god.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? They had their own gods, but they still worship the same demon.
Where he come from? What his bloodline trace?
Shem.
Shem?
Shem. Because remember Jacob was told to get somebody of his household, Isaac like household or something. That's why he went and got he really wanted Rachel, but he got Leah and Rachel. See? So, but they was like they was their bloodline, you know, whatever. But
Well, I'm still like,
Don't switch
well,
brother.
why would Rachel touch him? So why did Rachel touch him in the first place?
she remember we just read it. She didn't want them to know which way they went.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Jacob came up out of there with a lot of stuff. That's why the servants was like, look, he done came here and got all this glory and stuff. So it said their countenance changed toward him. Let's say we out here working right in the field and I done got rich and you are like, you think you is? Took all our stuff. They mad. So the Most High said, you can get your stuff, you can get your family and get up out of here. So when they did all that stuff, you know, the wives and stuff, they belong to Jacob now. So they're like, they know how their daddy is. Come on now, you know how your daddy is. Man, she probably like, can't get him. They finna come get us. Yeah. And that's what happened. So she took the gods, whatever. She sat on them and everything like that. And I always wanted to know, when I read in Genesis, I said, well, why would the Most High send his angel to tell him, don't tell him nothing good or bad? Why? I thought he just wanted to go see his daughters. Wait till my daughters. Nah, it was more deeper than that. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
So that head was actually talking.
Yeah. The familiar spirits, yeah. Whatever name they wrote on it, yeah.
Remember the book of Saul? Saul, same thing. And he went to that lady, that witch, whatever she was, and she brought up Samuel. Same thing. She brought him up. This and that. He said, "You gonna die being smart. You and your son the next day," and it happened.
See, this is what we try to show Israel. This ain't about no boogity boogity. This is real. You got to fight. You have to fight. Go to Exodus. We're gonna show you something. Go to Exodus chapter 4. Okay, we're gonna start at 1 through 4. All right. This is Exodus chapter 4, 1 through 4. And again, we back in Torah, we back in the 66 books. That's what I'm saying. This is all we need, right? Now we just picked up some valuable information that they didn't. See? And I'm telling y'all, don't be scared of them. We belong to a higher. Don't be scared of them. They want you to be scared of them so they can use this mess on you. Don't be scared of them. You see how our Father intercepted? Don't you tell him nothing good or bad. And even though, like, we ain't gonna read it, when I read on, do you know why Laban died? He shouldn't have said nothing. He should have went home.
Right, so he basically,
Yeah,
he basically told him,
Don't you say nothing. He should have said, man, I'm going back home. No, he went on anyway to go meet him. Oh, I just want to get my gods back. He should have shut his mouth and went back home. He still died from that. I'm gonna tell y'all something else too. Let me read this while we get there.
What was that?
Now this,
Mm-hmm.
now this is why,
Exodus 4.
brothers and sisters, you must be very careful what you say. I'm gonna read this out of Jasher, but you can also read this out of 66 books. Your mouth, power and death is in life and death in the power of the tongue. 49. And Jacob answered Laban, because Laban finally got to him, saying, because I was afraid lest thou wouldest take my daughters by force from me. And now, with whomsoever thou findest thy gods, he shall die. Rachel died in childbirth. Rachel died in childbirth. You can read this in the 66.
What did you just read? Jasher?
This was Jasher chapter 30, verses 49. Remember, he also said this in the 66 books. He said, whoever you find these gods, they're going to die. She eventually died from that.
Oh, Jacob said that. When Laban came.
Her last son, her last name was
Benjamin.
Her last son, she died in birth.
Because she named him Benjamin. And Jacob said, no, I'm going to name him Benjamin. Because Benjamin said, in my sorrow. So she changed his name to Benjamin. This is deep, brothers, sisters. This is deep.
And that's why I always stress, you have to read King James 16:11, you know the who, what, when, why, what. Then when you go see the other books, they'll agree. A lot of people get lost because they don't understand this, and they see something, they'll be like, well, I don't believe, they'll start believing the whole Bible. They'll go any kind of direction.
Now we on Exodus, chapter 4, 1 through 4, right?
Exodus chapter 4, verse 1. Moses answered and said, but behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken to my voice. But they will say, Ahai hath not appeared unto me. And Ahai said unto him, what is that in thy hand? He said, a rod. And he said, cast it to the ground. And he cast it on the ground, and they became a serpent. Moses fled from before it. And Ahiah said unto Moses, put forth thy hand and take it by the tail. And he put forth his hand and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand. That they may believe that the Most High, their fathers, of Abraham, and of Isaac, and of Jacob, hath appeared unto thee.
Now, what the Most High said, what's that in your hand? A rod, right? You throw it down, and it turns into a snake, right? Moses ran, Moses dipped. He said, stick your hand out and grab it, and it turned back into a rod, right? Now, let's go into the future a little bit. Let's go to Exodus 7. Watch this now. Exodus 7, 10 through 12, right? Now check this out. Again, we're in the 66 books now. So when everybody want to say, oh, you going off? Oh, let's see what we going on. Exodus 7. Exodus 7,
And 10.
10 through 12.
And Moses and Aaron went into Pharaoh,
Pharaoh.
and they said, and they did so as Ahiah had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh, and before his servants, and they became a serpent.
Became a serpent. Now check this out.
Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers.
The wise men and the sorcerers.
Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enhancements.
Huh? You mean, what? They did the same thing? But through whose power? Whose power? But they did the same exact thing. Keep going, brother.
For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents.
And they became serpents.
And Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods.
And Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. The reason why we had this read, brothers and sisters, to show you that them demons, them same demons we just read that Master Tima said, no, I need some of them so I can do my job. Who y'all think was allowed them to throw their rods down so they could turn to snakes too? Well, you see, I love this part. The reason why I tell y'all don't be afraid, because what our father's rod did, swallowed up all of them. See, do not fear them, brothers and sisters. Ahiah got you. That's why you can smile. I don't care what you see, what they know parlor tricks they do, smile. You know your dad got you. Real talk. Let's go to Matthew 8, 28, 32. Let me show you why you was getting some dirty looks and stuff before you woke. And you didn't know why. Chapter 8, 28 through 32. Matthew. We're going to go into what they call New Testament again. Watch this now. Because I always wanted to notice why people didn't like me and you want me around. I'm like, man, what did I do? I thought it was the color of my skin. But then what's kind of funny is that how you see a Ku Klux Klan member getting along with a so-called thug, but then neither one of them don't like you.
Exactly.
What's going on? One time about he hanging somebody, shoot up the world. But then they're high-fiving and selling each other. Hey, something ain't making no sense, man. This gonna start to make sense. Get Matthew. Watch this. Matthew chapter 8. We'll start at verses 28. And we're gonna read down. Everybody got it?
Matthew 8, 28. And he was come to the other side of the country,
It's Yeshaya now.
of the Gargans. And there met him two possessed with devils, coming out of the tombs, exceedingly furious, so that no man might pass by that way. And behold, they cried, saying, what have we to do with thee, O Yeshua?
See them? They rolled up and they said, we got to do with you, son of man. What we got to do with you? See, keep going. They knew who he was.
Thou son of Ahiah, art thou come hither to torment us before our time? And there was a good way off from them, and he heard of many swine feeding. So the devils besought him, saying, if thou cast us out, suffer us to go away into the herd of swine. And he said unto them, go. And when they were come out, they went into the herd of swine, and behold, the whole herd of swine ran bounding down a step placed into the sea, and perished in the water.
Perish into the waters. Again, we keep seeing accounts of these same spirits keep coming up, don't we? You see that?
And they that kept the swine kept them, fled, and went their way into the city, and told everything and what was befallen to the possess of the devils. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Yeshua. And when they saw him, they besought him that he would depart out of the coast.
They want to throw Yeshua out for that. That's a whole nother thing going on with that, with them pigs. That leader was feeding them to the Roman people. Yeah, Romans ate pigs. Henceforth, why they feed pigs to us? Who took over? They're still Romans, they just ain't got on their legionnaire outfits. They still Romans. Yeah, Esau and them. Yeah, but the whole purpose of going here and showing you is that they immediately knew who he was. They immediately knew him. See, these same ones that work for Masatima, which is Hasatan, they still here. They don't have nothing to lose, brothers and sisters. Let's go to, I'm going to read Jubilees, chapter, let me see, it's on page 87. All right. This kind of, we went over this last time before in class, but I'm going to read this. It's Jubilees. This will be chapter 15 and verses 30 through 32. And I'm going to read this out. So Jubilees chapter 15, starting at verses 30 through 32. It says, for Ahiah did not draw Ishmael and his sons and his brothers and Esau near to himself. And he did not elect them because they are the sons of Abraham. For he knew them. It says, but he chose Israel that they might be a people for himself. And he sanctified them and